Ahoy there, and welcome to Nautical Tales and Nature Trails, recreation in southeastern Connecticut and southern Rhode Island. It's brought to you by Bridget Morrissey. She wrote the book along with her husband, Will Morrissey, that's me. And we just want to let you know what's going on in the area. Bridget races up and down the coast from Old Lyme to Charlestown. She zigzags from Mystic to Mashantucket to Uncasville. She's always on the road trying to help her clients find their dream home. And she's doing all these back roads because she hates driving on I-95. But can you blame her? Not really. But doing that, she knows all the different things that are going on in the area. She knows where all the hiking trails are, the library. She knows where the marinas are, the golf courses, the vineyards, everything. And so we just want to let you know what's going on because there are so many people moving into the area. You know, we want to welcome all these folks that are coming into the area, whether you're a student at Conn College or Mitchell College or over at the cadets at the Coast Guard Academy, or if you're coming into town and you're building submarines or driving submarines, or if you're even coming into town as a visitor. There's so many things to do. So we wrote the book for you, and we're doing this show, and I want to let you know all the different things that are going on. And this is October. You can see we've got a couple of witches with us today. You know, I want to introduce Megan Thompson. She's the instructor over at Adventure Mystic. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you.
And Melissa Hartley is the manager there. So
thanks for having me.
Welcome. And we also have April Brunel, who is a realtor with, guess what?
Bridget Morrissey, Realty LLC.
I know that place. And we're glad to bring all of you together here for what's happening in October. April's going to explain a little later about Trunk or Treat, but we've got, I mentioned witches already, and there's an event coming up very soon. Megan, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so over at Adventure Mystic, we have our annual Witch Paddle and Coat Drive. We just love our community and are always looking for ways to give back, and so that's how we got involved in that.
Oh, great. Which paddleboard and coats, how do all those mix?
Like I said, we love our small community and love to give back in any way that we can. So aside from the witch paddle, we also participate in a Santa toy drive. Again, just looking for ways to give back where we can. I think the town's been very good to us, and so we look for ways that we can return the favor.
Well, we've got a little video to play about the event coming up. If we can run that, that'd be great.
Mystic, with its rich maritime history and iconic Mystic Seaport, has always been a hub for boating enthusiasts. However, in recent years, paddleboarding and kayaking have surged in popularity, especially around the Mystic Bascule Drawbridge. The drawbridge, a historic landmark, provides a picturesque setting for paddlers who enjoy the unique experience of navigating under its raised spans. The calm waters of the Mystic River, combined with the scenic views of historic ships at the seaport and the charming marinas, make it an ideal spot for both beginners and seasoned paddlers. The accessibility of paddleboard and kayak rentals from local businesses has further fueled this trend. These activities offer a more intimate way to explore the river, allowing paddlers to get up close to the area's natural beauty and historic sites. The community's embrace of these water sports is evident in the numerous events and tours organized throughout the year, making paddleboarding and kayaking a staple of the Mystic waterfront experience. The annual Witch Paddle and Coat Drive on the Mystic River is a unique and heartwarming event organized by Adventure Mystic. This event combines the fun of paddleboarding with the spirit of giving, as participants dress up as witches and paddle down the river to collect coats for those in need. Here are the event details. The 6th annual Witch Paddle and Coat Drive is scheduled for October 12th, 2024, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. The event is held on the scenic Mystic River, providing a beautiful backdrop for the paddleboarders. Paddleboarders of all skill levels are welcome to join. Participants are encouraged to wear their favorite witch or Halloween costumes, adding a festive and whimsical touch to the event. The primary goal of the event is to collect new or gently used coats to donate to local shelters and organizations that support individuals and families in need. This initiative helps ensure that everyone in the community has access to warm clothing during the colder months. Here are the event activities. Participants arrive at Adventure Mystic on 15 Holmes Street by 3 p.m. to sign in and prepare for the paddle. The registration fee is $25, and participants are encouraged to bring a coat to donate. A safety meeting is held at 3:45 p.m. to ensure that all participants are aware of the guidelines and safety protocols for paddleboarding on the river. The paddleboarding begins at 4 p.m. Participants paddle down the Mystic River, enjoying the beautiful scenery and the camaraderie of fellow witches on paddleboards. As participants paddle, coats are collected from spectators and other participants. The coats are then donated to local shelters and organizations. The paddleboarding concludes around 6 p.m., and participants return to the starting point at Adventure Mystic to wrap up the event and celebrate their successful coat drive. The Witch Paddle and Coat Drive not only provides much-needed coats to those in need, but also brings the community together in a fun and engaging way. It raises awareness about the importance of giving back and supports local organizations that work tirelessly to help those less fortunate. The annual Witch Paddle and Coat Drive on the Mystic River is a wonderful example of how the community can come together to make a positive impact. By combining the joy of paddleboarding with the spirit of giving, helps ensure that everyone in the community stays warm during the winter months.
Wow, that's quite a crew you've got there. I noticed the different pictures are a different number of witches, lined up there. Is that an annual picture that you're taking? Is it?
Yeah, we try to either take one at the wharf where we're all together in a group, or we do that overhead circular shot that you saw. So it just kind of depends on the amount of people that we have and who shows up every year.
That overhead circular shot, I think, was 2019. It looks like there are a lot more people. I mean, this event, I guess, is growing, huh?
It sure is.
Yeah, so the event has definitely grown. Lots of people tend to start calling early in the year. They want to know when it's happening. They want to know what the date is so they can either participate or come down and watch it on the boardwalk. It's just gotten so big, and this year we have a group called the Wayward Witches who's going to do a witch dance before the paddle begins. So it's just starting to get so much bigger, and it's just becoming such a fun event, and it's just fun to see all the people who just want to see all these witches paddle up and down the river.
I got to thank Mystic Network and This is Mystic and a few others for the pictures that we just saw. I mean, it's obviously it's a big event in Mystic where these different businesses are kind of following you. It's grown a little bit. You said 2019, and it looked like maybe, 25 people there. And, how many people do you expect this year?
Yeah, so I mean, where it starts with 20, you just make it the event that you want to. So when we paddle out, we tend to go down toward the seaport, and then we'll turn around and we'll all kind of gather before the bridge before we make our grand entrance into downtown Mystic. And I think that that's what grabbed everybody's attention initially. So this year, where it started at maybe 26, we're looking at upward of 100 paddlers, and we're just very excited for the momentum and where it's going.
Are these all professional paddlers that you have?
We do recommend that you have a little bit of paddle experience. Now that said, you can also take other vessels. You'll see that sometimes we have canoes that are in the mix. There are kayaks in the mix. It just kind of depends on your experience. But given the time of year, we do ask that you have paddle experience if you're going to take a paddleboard.
Well, how do people learn how to use a paddleboard?
So at Adventure Mystic, we do offer lessons during the summer. It's just a really great way to learn the basics of paddleboarding. And then once they're kind of ready to go out and have some fun, we've got a bunch of great groups. All of our instructors are paddle fit certified. So we'll do one-on-one lessons, we'll do group lessons, and then when they're ready to go, we've got a bunch of great groups where people can just kind of paddle around with people who have the same love for paddling.
No, that's great. I've seen people out there, and then at the beginning of that video, it looked like they were a whole group of people gathering at Schooner's Wharf.
Yeah.
So that probably was one of the instructor courses that you had.
Possibly. It might have been, yeah.
You know, so, and it's a nice place where, you know, no waves. I mean, you.
That's
Yeah,
what we
no.
love about it. Unless
Yeah.
you catch an off day where there's a little bit of a breeze, that we'll use that to our advantage as instructors. For the most part, it's the most fantastic environment to be able to learn how to paddleboard.
Yeah.
Now, you said people all year long are calling about this event. Are there other events that you do along the same kind of lines?
So in December we do a Santa paddle, like we discussed earlier, where we do a Santa paddle where a bunch of Santas come from all around, and they come and do. We do a toy drive as well, so people come and bring a new and unwrapped toy so that we can donate it to the community. In the summer we do a kids adventure group summer camp. And then in the fall, something new that we did is a Ride to Clyde's guided bike tour, where we ride from Adventure Mystic. We go to Clyde's Cider Mill, get a free cider donut, kind of check out the great things that they have there, and then we'll bike back to Adventure Mystic, and this is on Sundays from 9 to 11.
We also host Women's Wednesday every Wednesday. We get out there as soon as the water/air temperatures allow us to, and we will go as late in the season as we possibly can. It's a group of women led by women that it's just, again, a comfortable environment to be able to really hone in on your skills. Not necessarily a lesson, but just a fantastic group of people who have, you know, all different backgrounds, have overcome physical things, mental things, and it's just incredible it's an incredibly strong group of people who I get the honor of paddling alongside. But then we also have SupFit, which will happen that if you're looking to take your fitness to the next level, we take a HIIT style class and we pop it on a paddleboard. So,
Well, that's good. You mentioned the women getting together. It's like a networking group. We've had Fresh Connections for Women here on this show. They had a big get-together in the beginning of the summer, and we kind of let folks know about that. But it's nice that you run this for a different way of getting, you know, women together and to meet each other.
yeah.
You know, to make introductions that way. But you also mentioned the toy drive and the coat drive, but there's a coat drive with this witches and paddleboard deal. Can you explain the coat drive a little bit?
So we have a box at our shop. We probably have it a few days before the event, sometimes a week, depends on when we get the box. And then we will have it up into a few days after. We collect a new or gently used coat. Lots of people, it's great if they don't want to participate in the event. A lot of spectators will come and donate a coat, so it's really, really nice. And then we'll take all the coats and bring it to the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center.
Oh, that's a good group.
Yeah.
I've brought plenty of things to the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center. They're good people over there, and they take care of a lot of people. But, you know, the coat drive and the toy drive in Christmas time.
Yeah, we really like to give back to our community.
You know, it's so good to see these businesses around town that put together these drives, you know, to take care of the community, and especially what's going on down south right now with the hurricane that just blew through. You know, you see it on TV every night, and it's terrible what happens to some folks through no fault of their own. You know, and so if you can stand up and help them out, you know, Red Cross is taking donations. There's all kinds of ways that you can make donations for the hurricane relief. And if you can get over to Mystic River on Saturday,
October 12th.
Saturday, October 12th, and bring a coat to Adventure Mystic, and then watch all these witches paddling up and down the river. That'll be kind of fun, you know. And it's, you know, great work that you're doing. I mean, we love doing the show and having written the book about nautical tales and nature trails, and this is certainly a nautical tale, you know. And it's fun to get the word out that there's lots of things going on in the area. So, you know, thank you so much for all the information you've just given us.
Yeah, of course. Thank
for
you.
having us.
We also have some Halloween stuff coming up in April. You're the resident expert on trunk or treat.
I am. Halloween time is a great time. And a safer way for children to go trick-or-treating is to do trunk-or-treating. And so what it is communities or areas in your area areas, schools, different places. They'll host a trunk or treat where you go and different people, businesses, or individuals will decorate their car and their trunks with all kinds of spooky or silly or fun themes while giving out candy to the children and adults as they parade around. And this area of New England, we have tons in almost every little town and state and city.
Oh, I know there's a lot of them coming up. We have a video to kind of explain what trunk or treat is all about. Let's run that one.
So as you can see, it doesn't matter how old you are. As the first one up there is the Mystic Halloween Parade Trunk or Treat, and that's a great one. You start at one place and then you end up parading through the town, as you can see, and children of all ages participate. And then Ledyard has their annual trunk or treat, which sees up to 1,000 children every year, which is a great time for all, including the policemen who have to be careful of hungry dinosaurs. And then, of course, there's everywhere. New London, Norwich, Preston, you name it, they have a trunk or treat somewhere. And the Providence Drum Troupe is actually coming down as well. And that will be not only fun to get some treats, but also for your ears to hear something really nice.
Well, they look like they have a good time, the Providence Drum Troupe. and they'll be right downtown in Westerly. The United Theater is backing that trunk or treat. And you can see people parading through Mystic, going across the bridge. They start at Friar Tuck's and across the street from the Mystic Museum of Art, and parade right through downtown Mystic and over to the Mystic Fire Department to the parking lot where you can see right here. And there'll be plenty of people, plenty of businesses lined up over there to hand out tricks. We don't want any, hand out treats. We don't want any tricks played at the fire department.
And as you can see, if the weather's a little inclement, just bring an umbrella. Most people will go rain or shine.
Yeah, a lot of kids would like to do that. And you can see, this is sponsored, you can see down there in the corner, Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce does a great job with so many different events throughout the whole year. And actually, I read this morning that the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce was written up in Boston Magazine as the #1 art festival in all New England. They got voted in the top 20 different destinations to go to, and for the art festival category, the Mystic Chamber of Commerce art show, the Mystic Outdoor Art Festival, was the winner. And so congratulations to Bruce Flax and the entire crew over at the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce for putting on a wonderful show this summer.
That's fantastic. But as you can see, the dates for all of these trunk or treats range from starting as early as October 13th all the way up to Halloween itself. So there's plenty of time and plenty of dates to go out and have fun.
Well, happy Halloween there. So we've got the Mohegan Fire Company is going to be at St. Bernard High School on October 19th. We move over to Ledyard on October 25th at the Ledyard Town Green in the Holdridge Pavilion. On the 27th, you have the parade from Friar Tuck's, not fire trucks, but Friar Tuck's across the Mystic Bridge, the Bascule Drawbridge, to the fire department, and then downtown Westerly on Halloween night. All kinds of things going on with the Providence Drum Troupe. So if you like music, that's a good place to be on Halloween. So, but how did these things start?
It started way back when the early settlers came, and All Hallows Eve was a time of unnervedness, and people were scared of spirits and ghosts, and to protect their houses, they'd stay indoors and not go outside. And some of the neighbors thought it would be funny to dress up as scary, like a mask, or they'd put mud over their face or leaves and then knock on everybody's door. And in order to placate these evil spirits, they'd give them things. Like at the time, it might have been desserts or apples or fruits, and turned into candy, and then it all became Halloween and trick-or-treating. And a funny thing too is certain communities, not really over here, but in Massachusetts and other areas, they even have what they call a beggar's night, which is the night before Halloween, where the children will go trick-or-treating because they know everybody has the candy already, and it's called Beggar's Night.
Didn't know that.
I have never heard of Beggar's Night before.
I had that growing up in Massachusetts. It was quite fun. 2 nights of Halloween.
Oh, That's kind of cool.
Don't tell my kids
But
that.
okay, so I understand where trick or treat came from, but the trunk or treat, is that something that's local, or is that kind of a national thing that's
It's
going
a
on?
national thing. I believe it started in the 80s when there was a lot of scaring of adults thinking that the candies was being laced or tampered with. And so a lot of parents in response and businesses in response started it at the malls. And so all the businesses in a mall would do trunk or treating, but they called it, trick or treating in a mall. And from there, it turned into the trunk or treating out in the communities, and now it just caught fire, and now everybody does trunk or treating every year.
Halloween is special for kids, and I know you have a lot of experience with events for kids. Can you tell us, I'm putting you on the spot here, but can you tell us some other events in the area that, nonprofits have put together that, for kids like this, or that could benefit, like the coat drive is benefiting from Witch's Paddleboard?
Yeah, Florence Griswold Museum, I know every weekend this month, they do their Wee Fairy Village, where they have different artists who've made little, I guess you want to say sceneries of fairies. And this theme of this year is like old time lore, so you'll see like old time houses and snail mail, actually little snails carrying the mail and stuff. So it's really cute. But the kids can go around all dressed as fairies or superheroes. They have face painting, and it's just a great time for kids to celebrate every weekend from now until the end of the month.
I know that, that there's something called Comic-Con that a lot of people like to go to. I know a few people that show up there. But that's another place where people dress up.
Oh yes, there's a big Comic-Con coming on the day after Halloween, November 1st in Providence, called Rhode Island Comic-Con. It's one of the biggest ones around. There's tons to do there. There's kids costumes, kids cosplay, adults of course too. There's a lot of vendors and fun things to learn, and there's classes and what they call get-togethers, and so they can meet other people who like the same kind of things they like, whether it's comics or anime or anything like that.
I know there's a lot of different places doing a lot of different things, and Ninigret Park over Charlestown Way is got something going on for kids. But it's great, like I said before, that all these different programs pop up, for people to do things, and it's wonderful to be able to tell people exactly what's happening in the area. I mean, so many people coming in, to the area. Like I said, the people building the submarines. Or last year, 2023, Mystic got recognized as the 4th most popular travel destination in the United States. I mean, you get so many people coming here, and so to find out that, wow, you can go watch witches, on a paddleboard, this coming weekend. I mean, it's really something, Or a couple weekends after that, you get the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce doing, the trunk or treat. And I mentioned that all the different events that the Chamber does. The big one is, the lighted boats parade that comes up in December. But we've got a lot of things that happen. But I got a quick video to show you. I mentioned Nautical Tales and Nature Trails. There are a lot of runners in the area, and they love to do these, 5K races. It's been a little while since I've done them. I've done them, but it's been a little while. But I've got a little quick video to tell you about a couple of them that are coming up in October. So, under coming events, we've got over at the Deans Mill Farm, the Child and Family Agency is doing a 5K trail and road race. Now, that's a little different. Mostly it's just, road races that you hear about. But they got this trail road race. So, get over there at 8:30 to 9:50 to pick up your packet if you pre-registered. And then after that, it's Family Day, Spielplatz. I guess it's kind of an Oktoberfest for the whole family, with food trucks, kite flying, and all kinds of activities. That's over at Deans Mill Farm. And then you got the big Tarzan Brown Mystic River Run. That is an annual event that's been going on for the longest time. And if you are a runner and you want to sign up for that one, you got bit.ly/Tarzan Brown. And that'll bring you to the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce website. It's put on by the Chamber and by Kelly Space, right down here in the Old Mystic Village. So if you kind of like what you see, like and subscribe, or ring that notification bell, so that you can see what's coming up. We'll let you know. You know, I'm so glad that, you know, we've been able to do this kind of thing for folks. And I can't thank Adventure Mystic enough, you know, for, you know, putting this together. And I do have to ask you, though, there must be a memorable moment or a memorable witch costume or something that comes to mind. We got some chuckling going on here.
There has definitely been some men dressed as witches, which is definitely a sight to see, but it's just so much fun to have. Yeah.
Well, I don't think I'll dress up as a witch, but but that's kind of cool to hear. And you know, there's not a race or anything. I mean, this is just.
Nope.
And how many people line up along the dock just like they do for the lighted boats parade? I imagine, you know,
there's a
I'll bet you
crowd.
it's a surprise to people visiting, but I imagine you have spectators that plan on being there to see this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely crowds on that boardwalk looking for the witch paddle.
You got to get there early to get a prime viewing seat.
For sure. Yes, absolutely.
Now, do they go all the way up to the seaport? And you were talking about being around the bridge and coming out both sides of the bridge, but you know, I heard, you know, the safety meeting is at 3:45 or
Yep.
thereabouts, and then the paddling starts at 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So do they go up to the seaport first, or do they go down the river first, or does it depend on?
We tend to go downward first. That way, you know, again, we can make our grand entrance and kind of have fun doing loops and whatnot around where everybody's looking to see us. It's a little bit harder to get down to the seaport to see anything. So we do try to get a little bit of a paddle, and then we kind of play a little bit around later.
You know, you're coming back in, and the river kind of widens out right there at Schooner's Wharf too. So you know, you're not, if you're going to have 100 paddlers, I mean, coming under the bridge, I mean, they're going to be one after the after. It's going to be fun to watch.
It's going to be a great time.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, it was fun last year with the lighted boats parade, especially with the Hallmark movie that came out, you know, Mystic Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, it was really packed down there, you know, but if you're getting 100 witches this year, then I really think you're going to have a lot of spectators. You're going to have more than 100 spectators, that's for sure.
We will.
For
You
sure.
know, so, and then trunk or treat, you know, looking forward to that. It's a great safe way for kids to do it, you know, if you want to check your own town to see if something's going on. But, you know, April, thank you so much for telling us about all these local towns that are doing it and when they're doing it and where they're doing it. And so we can, you know, have some fun with the kids and do it safely. So
Yes.
Yep.
we're so glad you were able to tune in. You know, we're glad to bring you the show, glad to tell you about what's happening in the area. Hope to see you in a couple of weeks when we come back with another show. Bridget, can you take us back out, please?
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channels at Mystic 2 Westerly and at SEC TV 1. Please join our group on Facebook and like my Facebook page. Let me explain Mystic to Westerly to you. Mystic is actually part Groton and part Stonington. Stonington Borough and Pawcatuck are also part of Stonington. 2 towns, 2 states make one community. Watch Hill and Misquamicut Beach are part of Westerly. Connecticut Route 2 starts in Pawcatuck, goes through North Stonington, into Ledyard, and Preston, to Norwich. It goes across the river into Uncasville, and more of New London County on its way to Hartford. New London County is also home to Waterford, East Lyme, Niantic, and Old Lyme. Basically, we enjoy living in southeastern Connecticut and southern Rhode Island. Thank you for watching Nautical Tales and Nature Trails. We hope you enjoyed it.